Hey, Calvary Life Church, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20 says that God can do anything, far more than you could ever imagine or guess or request in your wildest dreams. He does it not by pushing us around, but by working within us, His Spirit deeply and gently within us. Can you imagine what your life would look like if God would do more than you could ever dream of? What about your city? What about our nation? What about our world or our church? We know that when God says something, His word will not return void, but will accomplish its purpose. 2020 and 2021 were not ideal years to dream big dreams. There was so much economic uncertainty, lockdowns, cities in riot, political instabilities, racial tensions, natural disasters, floods, fires, and famines. But that only reinforced our conviction that this world needs Jesus more than ever. We as a church cannot shrink back, abdicate our responsibility, or compromise our message. We are the body of Christ united. We will not stop until the King returns. I'm thanking God and I'm praising Him for everything that He's done in these last 2 years. We're overwhelmed by what He has accomplished through a church united, with our eyes fixed on heaven and our feet firmly planted on the earth. As a church, we committed to increase our giving to international missions. We stepped out in faith, and here's just a few things that we did internationally. In Nepal, Pastor Hannah Aroka walked from village to village in the Himalayan mountain range, or sometimes she biked, preaching the gospel. She has literally built 5 churches by hand, bringing in the logs, building it, and she pastors those churches personally. Well, she's advancing in age and she needed a motorcycle. We presented the need and you bought it for her. Thank you. When the Taliban took over Afghanistan, the Christians were being targeted. It was life and death for them. Through our friends at World Compassion, we sent $15,000 to help evacuate and provide for our fellow persecuted believers in that nation. We also heavily funded Bible smuggling into Iran. And to date, in partnership with other like-minded churches, we have seen over 200,000 Bibles placed into homes. There's so much more I could say about our satellite TV program in the Middle East being launched from Pakistan, where we are conducting leadership seminars, touching thousands of leaders and reaching thousands in open-air Jesus festivals on screen. We're also involved in projects in Albania, Ethiopia, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and so much more. In Italy, we've adopted Connect Church, pastored by Vincenzo and Numa Abate, and have committed to support them for 3 years as they plant a church in Giuliana, a suburb of Naples, or Napoli as it's correctly called. The church is quickly growing, and they have taken on more space for the growing children's ministry. In the last 2 Heart for the House offerings, over $550,000 was given for debt cancellation. That money in its entirety was deposited directly on the principal, every penny. On top of that massive debt reduction, we supported our missions initiatives at home and abroad with over $200,000. In our own city, we helped struggling churches, families, and individuals in crisis. We heavily supported local organizations that are actively involved in meeting the needs of the less fortunate and at the at-risk segments of our society. We've developed a closer relationship with 2 key organizations, Her Victory, which helps women being taken advantage of and exposed to the sex trade, as well as Hope Mission, which is engaged in helping Calgary's most vulnerable through food and after-school programs. This season, can I encourage you to imagine more for your life, our city, and our church? Together, let's imagine more vision, more joy. Imagine more life. Imagine more miracles. Imagine more peace. Imagine more friendship. Imagine more blessing. Imagine more salvations. As we dream big, we know that God will exceed our expectations. So thank you for your generosity. Thank you for believing in the mission of Jesus for our world. And thank you for praying and asking God to lead you into your generous Heart for the House offering on March 27th.